Hey, quick notice. This video is inspired by Great Blue's favorite bad weapons in TF2 video. The original video will be linked in the description below. With more than a decade worth of support, Team Fortress 2 has had several major content updates, balance changes, and dozens upon dozens of items added to the game. With all this context in mind, you can easily figure out that not all weapons are created equally. While I'm personally of the belief that TF2 is in a pretty solid state right now, in terms of balance, there are still some items that are not comparable at all to others, and can even be considered bad. Some can argue that every weapon in TF2 has a purpose. With that argument in mind, some weapons that could even be considered bad can still be a shit ton of fun to use. So I figured in this video I'd highlight 3 of my personal favorite weapons that I, or other members of the community, consider to at least be not the greatest weapons in general. So let's dive into this video with one of my personal favorite melee weapons in the game, the Caber. Throughout the rest of the video, I'm going to be putting up item cards on screen so that way you can read along with whatever I'm saying. But the Ullapool Caber doesn't even deserve an item card. This weapon is completely dog shit and arguably the worst melee weapon in the entire game. But holy fuck is it fun. Being a melee weapon exclusive to demo, it has the fun gimmick of being associated with explosions. When you hit an enemy, or any surface in general, the Caber will explode and do a decent amount of damage to both your enemy and yourself. While this sounds pretty solid on paper, you only get 1 Caber explosion per life unless you constantly run back to the resupply cabinets in your spawn. This item is completely useless, especially on Demonite, but it could be really fun to use if you're just messing around on a community server, or just don't want to be taken seriously in general. Now, I don't know if this is going to land me in any hot water on TF2 Twitter or not, but I'm pretty sure the general consensus about the panic attack is that it isn't really the greatest shotgun someone could use, but I personally don't care and I think it's really fun. So let's start talking about it. The panic attack fires 50% more bullets than stock, it deploys 50% faster, and it fires in a wide fixed shot pattern. The downsides of this gun is that it does 20% less damage, and becomes less accurate the more you shoot. If you're dealing with a squishy target, reloading every couple of shots can eliminate the decrease in accuracy. This weapon is incredibly fun to use, and in my personal experience pairs well with Battle NG and Heavy in some cases. The weapon received a rework a few years ago and honestly has become less unique of a weapon as a whole, but I honestly think that this gun is severely underrated. It's especially good at punishing players who might not be the best at positioning or keeping track of aim, but then again, you'll get punished if you're not good at either of those things as well. The panic attack can also be an insanely good combo weapon, whether it be you're pairing it with your secondary or your primary. Especially on Battle NG, switching to your pistol is such a good way to easily clean up somebody. Finally, I want to cover a rocket launcher that isn't necessarily bad, but it's just very heavily outshined by soldiers' other choices, and that rocket launcher is the Airstrike. The Airstrike's main gimmick is that it has an increased firing speed while airborne, and also extends your clip whenever you get a kill for that life. However, the downsides of the weapon is that it starts off with 25% less of a clip size, and will always have a 25% damage penalty, on top of a 15% decrease in explosion radius. Which is honestly kind of confusing to me, because personally when I think of something called an airstrike, I think of a massive area of effect, and nothing but carnage and corpses on top of corpses. But the TF2 airstrike is honestly just kind of bad to mediocre. This launcher is almost always paired with the base jumper so that way you can get some extra airtime. I think this weapon is honestly more disappointing as a concept. It is still ridiculously fun to use, however. This might just be me, but I personally think it is one of the best looking rocket launchers in the game, and the sound design is terrific. If you want to use this weapon, especially with the base jumper, just be careful for soldiers trying to get an easy crit kill on you. To wrap things up, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're able to, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, it really does help out. This is a bit of a new video for me. It's something I've always wanted to do. I love TF2 content, and I love like personal rankings and lists and stuff. And I know that this is a short video, and I know that my editing skills aren't the greatest, but this is honestly something I had a lot of fun doing. Getting the footage, editing it has been a pleasure, and I really hope you guys like it. Also, thank you for the support on the Racist Exposed video. That's like about to hit 2,000 views at the time I'm recording this, and that's honestly insane to me. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day and stay safe.